He smoked for 20 years, chasing every cure from nicotine patches to hypnosis, and losing thousands of dollars in the process. Nothing worked until a chance business trip to Japan led him to an old monk whose advice changed everything in just 3 months, without a single ounce of willpower. What if everything you've been told about breaking bad habits is actually backwards? What if fighting against your habits is exactly what gives them their power? Imagine a world where your worst traits fade away naturally without the exhausting battle, the crushing shame, or the endless cycle of failure. The Japanese have mastered a secret about human nature that the West is only just beginning to grasp. Habits aren't enemies to be defeated, and force is never the answer. Instead, they use a gentle system that works with your mind rather than against it. In the West, we're addicted to the big push. We join gyms in January with intense plans only to vanish by February. We delete social media in a dramatic digital detox only to reinstall the apps days later. We set impossible standards and then drown in shame when we inevitably fall short. But the Japanese approach starts from a different premise. They see habits as patterns that once served a purpose. Every habit, even the destructive ones, began as a solution to a problem. The smoker found comfort in stress. The overeater found solace in a midnight binge. Understanding this changes the entire game. Take the story of a young monk who struggled with a legendary temper. He tried meditation, mantras, and fasting, but the harder he fought his anger, the stronger it grew. Finally, an elder told him to stop trying to get rid of it. Instead, he was told to become curious. Watch it like a cloud passing through the sky, the elder said. The young monk began to simply note the feeling. Anger. He felt the heat in his chest and the tension in his jaw. He observed the thoughts fueling it without judging them. Within weeks, the anger lost its grip. By observing without judgment, he created space. He could feel the anger without being controlled by it, and eventually it passed through him like a brief summer storm. This is the foundation of the Japanese approach, the principle of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, including your most desperate cravings. That urge for a cigarette or a drink is just a wave. Most people treat a craving like an emergency that must be resolved immediately, either by giving in or fighting it off. The Japanese method suggests a third way. Sit with the discomfort, like you'd sit with an upset friend. Don't fix it. Just be present. A Tokyo businessman used this to quit smoking after 2 decades. He kept cigarettes on his desk, and when an urge hit, he'd hold one and smell it, fully experiencing the craving. He'd set a timer for 10 minutes, telling himself he could smoke when it rang. He didn't distract himself, he just watched the wave. He noticed the urge peaked at 3 minutes and faded by 10. He realized he wasn't his cravings, he was the awareness observing them. Then there is the art of Kaizen, or continuous small improvement. We love dramatic transformations, trying to go from couch potato to marathon runner overnight. This all-or-nothing thinking is a trap. Kaizen suggests changing just 1% at a time. If you watch 4 hours of TV, reduce it by only 5 minutes today. It sounds insultingly simple, but it's how the brain actually rewires. Dramatic changes trigger the brain's alarm system, causing anxiety and resistance. Tiny changes slip under the radar. A woman in Kyoto used this to beat a shopping addiction by simply waiting 24 hours before any purchase. Eventually, she waited a week, and by then, the urge was gone. We must also look at Ikigai, or your reason for being. Habits often fill an empty space. We scroll because we're bored or eat because we're lonely. Unless you address the underlying need, the habit will return. A programmer who drank every night realized he wasn't addicted to alcohol, but to the gear shift it provided from work to home. He replaced the drink with a new ritual, changing clothes, making tea, and sketching for 10 minutes. By meeting his deeper need for creativity, the pull of alcohol naturally weakened. Crucially, this path requires self-compassion. In the West, we use shame as a whip, but shame only creates a cycle of rebellion. You cannot hate yourself into becoming someone you love. A teacher who struggled with emotional eating stopped punishing herself with harsh words and started using gentle inquiry. When she overate, she noted it as a fact, not a moral failing. This allowed her to see that she ate when she felt unappreciated or lonely. Free from shame, she could finally address the real issues. Ultimately, the Japanese system teaches us that breaking a habit isn't about destruction, it's about building. You don't destroy an old pattern, you grow beyond it, like a tree growing around a fence until the fence becomes irrelevant. Think of habits as well-worn paths in a forest. You can't erase the old path, but you can walk a new one. At first, the new path is overgrown and difficult, requiring conscious effort. But with repetition, the grass gets trampled down and the old, unused path begins to grow over. A man addicted to his phone put a book where his phone usually sat. He committed to reading just one page each morning. It was so easy he felt no resistance, and soon he was reading for 30 minutes a day. The scrolling wasn't defeated by force. It was replaced by something better. Lasting change happens in harmony with your nature, not in opposition to it. You aren't conquering yourself or defeating a weakness. You are simply growing into a fuller version of who you already are. Your habits aren't your enemies. They are teachers, showing you exactly where you've fallen out of alignment with your true self.